The city of Oakhaven was the kind of place that felt like it was holding its breath. For Elena, life was a series of quiet shifts at the local diner and long walks home through streets that had seen better days. She wasn't a woman of means, but she was a woman of presence. She noticed the way the morning light hit the cracked pavement and how the neighborhood kids played soccer with a deflated ball. Among them was Leo, a 6-year-old with a gap-toothed smile who waited for Elena every afternoon just to show her a new drawing or a treasure he'd found in the park, usually a smooth stone or a discarded bottle cap. One Tuesday, the air felt different, thick and heavy. Elena was walking toward the park when she saw Leo chasing his ball toward the edge of a busy intersection. At that same moment, a black sedan tore around the corner, followed closely by another vehicle. It wasn't just a reckless driver, it was a scene of chaos. A man leaned out of the second car, a dark metallic object in his hand. Elena didn't think. She didn't weigh her life against the world's. She saw Leo, frozen in the path of a conflict he couldn't understand. As a sharp crack echoed through the street, Elena lunged. She felt a heat like she had never known bloom in her shoulder as she tackled Leo into the grass, shielding his small body with her own. Darkness didn't come all at once, it came in waves of gray until the world simply vanished. When Elena finally opened her eyes, she didn't see the chipped ceiling of her apartment or the flickering lights of the county hospital. She saw a room that looked like it belonged in a palace, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a skyline she didn't recognize, silk sheets, and the soft hum of high-end machinery. But more striking than the room were the people. 20 men and women, dressed in tailored suits and elegant attire, stood in a semicircle around her bed. They weren't doctors. They were legends of industry, tech moguls, real estate giants, and philanthropists whose faces she had only seen on the news. The silence was broken by a man at the foot of the bed, Julian Vane, a man known for his ruthless business empire. His eyes, usually described as cold, were shimmering with a rare, raw gratitude. "You're awake," he whispered. Elena tried to speak, but her throat was dry. Where is Leo?" she managed. A woman stepped forward, clutching Elena's hand. "He's safe. He's in the next room, coloring. You saved my son, Elena." The chaos Elena had jumped into wasn't a random street crime, it was an attempted abduction of the heir to one of the wealthiest families in the country. The 20 people in the room weren't just millionaires, they were a tight-knit circle of Leo's family and their closest business partners who had all been shaped by the kindness of Leo's late grandfather. They had spent 48 hours watching over the woman who had traded her life for their youngest member. Over the next few weeks, Elena's recovery became a shared mission for the 20. They didn't just pay her medical bills, they sat with her. She learned that Julian Vane loved poetry but was too afraid to admit it to his board. She learned that the Ice Queen of Tech, Sarah Chen, spent her nights worrying about her daughter's loneliness. Elena, in her simple, authentic way, listened. She didn't want their money, she wanted to know why they all looked so tired despite having everything. "You have all the resources in the world," Elena told them one evening during a group dinner in her suite, "but you're all building walls to keep the world out. I went into that street because I felt connected to that boy. If you don't feel connected to anyone, what is the point of the millions?" The resolution of Elena's story wasn't a check for $20 million, though they tried. Instead, she challenged them to change the city. Led by Elena's vision, the group transformed Oakhaven. They built community centers where kids like Leo could play safely, funded local businesses, and created a scholarship program that prioritized character over grades. Elena didn't return to the diner, she became the director of the Oakhaven Foundation, a bridge between the world of the haves and the have-nots. The story of the woman who threw herself in front of a bullet didn't end with a scar. It ended with a city reborn. As Elena stood at the grand opening of the new youth center, Leo, now a bit older and still smiling, held her hand. Looking at the 20 millionaires who had become her closest friends, she realized that while one bullet could have ended a life, one act of selfless courage had started 20 new ones. The message is simple: your value isn't measured by what you have in your bank account, but by what you are willing to give when you have nothing at all. True wealth is the impact we leave on the hearts of others, and sometimes, it takes a moment of total darkness to show everyone else how to find the light.